Yo, what's up, everybody? Today is Friday, July 4th, 2025. Bitcoin block height 903,976. Transaction fees 3 sats per VByte. Low, medium, and high priority. Just over 13,000 unconfirmed transactions in this mempool. Bitcoin USD price 108,157 US pieces of paper. 24-hour high was 110,577. 24-hour low was 108,100. $1 gets you 925 Satoshis. This number right here, 925 Satoshis for $1 will eventually be 1 to 1. So $1 buys you 1 Satoshi. And then it will flip the other way where it will cost multiple US dollars to buy 1 Satoshi. So not long from now, it will cost you $925 to buy 1 Satoshi. Crazy. I know that sounds crazy, but it's inevitable. If Bitcoin keeps going, doesn't get hacked, the dollars are unlimited. You know, the US just increased the debt ceiling. You got Trump's big, beautiful bill of spending free and unlimited dollars. That will never stop. He'll do another bill. Someone else will get elected. They'll do a bill. It'll be even bigger and even more beautiful. It will never stop. So it's inevitable here. 926 US dollars buys you 1 Satoshi. Not 1 Bitcoin, 1 single Satoshi. We finally have a financial measuring stick, a monetary ruler that we can measure wealth, value, money. That is Bitcoin. Moving on here, Bitcoin Spaces Protocol. 1.5023 total. Bitcoin burned 7,596 bids. 2,155 transfers and registers. And 2,256 rollouts. If you don't know, Bitcoin Spaces Protocol, it's a layer 2 of Bitcoin that sits on top of Bitcoin, tiny little layer. It looks at Bitcoin transactions. You can have human readable wallet addresses, their Bitcoin identities, Nostr NPubs, all types of cool stuff. And these are some of the spaces now in auction. AK, AO, AV, Amazon, Answer, Online, 256, and Zone. All can be claimed, but still open for bidding. Pay direct, claimable in about 2 hours and 30 minutes. All these names, you can use them for peer-to-peer apps. No change to Bitcoin itself. Minimal on-chain footprint. Doesn't matter if you run Bitcoin Core, Bitcoin Knots. The node doesn't matter. You can run this on Knot. I know there's everyone, it's going on right now. A lot of noise fighting about data on Bitcoin. But data is very powerful, very important. You know, Bitcoin is very powerful and very important. Of course, money is the number one use case for Bitcoin. But even Satoshi himself embedded a message, Chancellor on brink, second bailout of bank, in the Genesis block, because having a message in Bitcoin forever is important. You know, it's a powerful thing. It's a valuable thing. People are going to do it. And there's just this huge hubbub about it now. Even Jeff Booth, though, he talked about it with Nut Swansholm. And Nut, he's like real monetary only. But what even is monetary? And that's the thing too. Monetary economic nodes. People can't even define those. They try to, but it doesn't make sense. But Jeff Booth says that he could see things in Bitcoin that are valuable. Specifically, his will. He wants to put his will in Bitcoin. How's he going to do that? Op return, some sort of witness data inscription? I don't know. Op return is probably the best. It doesn't bloat the UTXO set where it just creates these unspendable outputs, these unspendable UTXOs. Op return just burns it in the op return. That's the way Spaces protocol is right here. It's really clean design. You should definitely check it out if you're interested in it. And we've already done it with private keys, right? The ones and the zeros, the private keys. We use the human readable names for your seed phrase. So many people use that, and it's huge. So, of course, we're going to use it for wallet addresses. You go to a website, spacesprotocol.org. You don't type in the number. You don't type in the IP address. So this is just what humans do. We take hard to read data and we turn it into easy to read data, human readable form. That's what we do. And if Bitcoin's here to stay, like I think it is, domain name services are eventually going to be on Bitcoin. And that's what Spaces Protocol is, a permissionless, decentralized, small layer. Once people get through this hubbub about, they're putting JPEGs on the blockchain. That's the noise, right? People are getting confused with the noise. The noise that is the JPEGs, the stupid stuff, all the ordinals and everything. But hey, who am I to say it's stupid? Maybe they think it's good. Of course, it's just money grab. It's not useful, but whatever. That's why I say the nodes should decide. Let the nodes decide. You put it in your Bitcoin config file. You say what you want. Op return limit, whatever you want. I think Spaces Protocol needs about 65 bytes of data in op returns. Very small. The limit was 84, right? We didn't hear nothing about this before. When Core had the limit, it was like 84 bytes or something. You could look it up. We didn't hear much complaint about it. But then when they removed the cap, that's when everyone started complaining. And I can see it. That's why I'm on the side of letting the nodes decide. Run Knots, run Core, run a different implementation software of Bitcoin Core or the Bitcoin node software. We should have multiple. I like Knots. I like Core. I like having a third, a fourth, a fifth option. We should have multiple options. The more options, the better. I know there's another war going on with the mining block templates and everything. This is all good. We should all have it spread out where one person just can't come in and make a change and everything goes kaplooey. Strength. It's just less points of failure is basically what it is. So have multiple software. But Spaces Protocol definitely useful. You could have AK as a wallet address. Send the Bitcoin to AK, human readable name, rather than the BC1Q, this long string. It's definitely going to take off. Unconfirmed Spaces actions. We got a transfer on 256 sitting in a mempool. Recent Spaces actions. Some more transfers on a Puni code. Tiara, Desi, 911, IR, Rice, Reflect, and 2 bids on Sovereign and Fedi Mint. Ooh, maybe Jeff Booth's even in Spaces Protocol rolling out Fedi Mints. Upcoming rollouts: Fedi Mint, Merlin, SHA-256, HR, JO, KP, KN, CY, LU, and KR. So we saw all the 1 digits go out of Spaces Protocol, or the 1 digits and the 1 characters, A through Z, 0 through 9. Now we're seeing all the 2 digits. Now it's a race on all the 2 digits. Still super early though in Spaces Protocol. It came out mainnet November 2024, late November I think it was. Only 2,256 names have been rolled out. So there's tons of names that you could roll out still. And look, Amazon's just sitting out there, can be claimed. Only 10,000 Satoshis on Amazon right now. Super good names. You know, the thing that's really holding Spaces Protocol back, I think, is knowledge. People don't know about it. That's number one. And number two is there's no Windows wallet. They do have Acron wallet, which is acron.io. You can find it there, but it's only for Macintosh and Linux. And even Linux, I tried to install it from Linux. I tried to build it from source, or build it from, I think that's what it is, build it from the source code. Man, it's hard to do. It's not working. It says I need all these dependents. And then when I download these dependents, it tells me, oh, they're not in the right order, so there might be prerequisites. I'm not sure, man. Someone should just build a package and make it easy, or I just have to learn more. I install Linux, then I install curl, Rust, Cargo. I'm remembering them all because I'm trying it multiple times. Then there's something called Rust Up. But so Acron was telling me I need Rust Up, I'm pretty sure. But since I already installed Rust, now I can't install Rust Up. So, you know, what's going on here, man? So now I'm just going to wipe this machine. I'm going to install Linux fresh. I'm going to try to watch some videos and figure this stuff out. But it needs to be more user-friendly. Right now, it's just command line interface where you type in all these things. There is the GUI wallet, the Acron.io wallet, but it's hard to set up. I don't even know if anyone's using it. I think mainly everyone's still using Spaces Protocol through the command line. Like I am. I'm using it through the command line. How the hell I figured that out, I don't even know. I want to go back and redo it. I don't even know if I could. It took me freaking weeks, dude. Weeks, days, nights, late nights, just trying to figure it out, dude. Yo, crazy. New. I've never installed Linux before, though. I never had a Bitcoin node before. This is what prompted me to run a node. But now I'm thankful for it, though, because I got a freaking node going, Bitcoin node, and I connect my wallets to it, you know? So, hey, I'm verifying my own transactions. And one thing I would like, too, is if your node could be like mempool.space, where I could just browse transactions. Now, there are codes that you can run in the Bitcoin core software, or not, you're not software. There's a little command line interface. You can run stuff, but it's not as cool as this, where you could just type an address in, or you could just see a block. You could click on an address. You could see the history. You could then click on another. I mean, this is cool, man. If someone could build this into your nodes, man, that would be awesome. I would really love that. I think there is something out there where I found something like this on GitHub. There was something out there. But again, it requires technical knowledge. All this stuff requires technical knowledge. It's not so easy for the noob. It's not so easy. So it's fun though. Like if you're curious about it, if you're interested in it, you'll find a way. You know, I'll find a way. It just takes time. Like, you know, it took me years to start running a Bitcoin node. You know, I was into Bitcoin, getting in. I was like, oh man, I gotta rush, gotta hurry up and get this Bitcoin. Hurry, hurry, hurry. And then, you know, hardware wallets and stuff. And then a node, like, oh, I gotta run a node, but then just never got around to it. Until I saw this, Spaces Protocol. And I was like, wow, this seems really cool. Let's see what we got here. These long NPubs, these long Bitcoin addresses, you can turn them into human readable names at Bitcoin, Frank at Bitcoin, Alice at Bitcoin, whatever. These are subspaces. It's actually a little deeper than this. You can look it up, docs.spacesprotocol.org or just spacesprotocol.org. There's a bunch of cool stuff about this. But right, this is just it, man. You know, and I was looking for domain names or some sort of naming service on Bitcoin for probably a year and a half, maybe 2 years, because it just makes sense. You know, naming is so important. It just makes sense. Someone's going to do it. Just nobody did it right. We had the .btc, we got the ordinals, we got the .sats, we got stacks, we got there's a bunch of them, dude. We had Bitcoin domains even. But But all those ones, you know, there's problems with them. So the problems are, number one, they're on a separate blockchain or they have their own token. That's a huge problem. You can't have your own token. You can't be on a separate blockchain. It has to be 100% Bitcoin only, and BTC is the currency. Spacing Protocol fits the bill there. Or the other problem was there was some centralized authority that you had to like renew your space with, where, oh, you got to renew your space with this one guy. That was what Bitcoin Domains was. And I was in their Discord talking about it, and they're like, oh yeah, well, we have to, you know, because we have to keep it running. And of course that doesn't make any sense, because now I'm relying on you to keep it running. And of course that project, whatever you want to call it, rugged everybody. Luckily I didn't put anything into it because I figured it was dumb. I'm not relying on a person, right? I'll rely on code, not people. I'm not relying on people to do stuff. I'm relying on code. So that was a red flag there. So Bitcoin Domains or whatever it was, they failed. They rugged everybody. But you can't tell people this during the time either. You know, I was in the Discord talking about it. People were like, stop fudding. You know, people were DMing me on the side like, yo, stop fudding the project, bro. You know, all this stuff. Like, dude, I'm not fudding. I'm just talking about, doesn't make sense to pay somebody, right? ENS is another example. That's centralized nonsense where you have to pay the ENS Foundation, Ethereum Foundation, to keep your name, right? No. Spacing Protocol solves all that. You're not paying anyone. All these names that come out for the first time ever, you're registering them on Bitcoin, permissionless auctions. No one can stop you. It's Bitcoin. It's awesome. And then the third problem is, I would say major problems, the squatters. You get a name, everyone races to the name. I think Ordinals has this big problem too. You know, everyone just can inscribe or get all their names all at once. Everyone can just get their names all at once real quick. They get all the names, they squat on all the names, and then that's it. They have all the names, thousands of names, right? It's not expensive to get the names. There's not, they just do it, right? First come, first serve, rush into the doors. Everyone grabs everything, and then that's it. It's over. Space Protocol solves that with auctions. Only 10 names come out a day, which is about 3,600 per year. And it takes 10 days for them to go through the auction process so everyone can see it. They can bid on it. So there's pre-auctions and auctions. So that solves that with the auctions. Everyone gets to see it. So Spaces Protocol, man, it is pretty cool. Let's take a look here at Spaces.market. Latest listings. These are the names that have already been registered that are now for sale on the secondary market. So if you pick up these names, you don't have to go through the bidding process. You can just buy these straight up. Of course, they are a little more expensive than bidding because you don't have to battle. You don't have to bid against people. You just buy them straight up. So we got Protect, Engine, Trading, Axis, Copy, WZ, Pilot, FT, Nano. All right, that's going to be it for this one. Thank you all for watching.